Hey guys, Cam here from today's iPhone.com, and I have the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S, and we're going to do a comparison between the two because of course they are Apple's latest smartphones. Two very different offerings to the market from Apple this time. Now for me, comparing these two is a case of comparing different benefits, one or the other. Now in terms of looks and elegance and the premium kind of portrayal of a phone, the iPhone 5S really is unmatched on the market just in general. And it's mostly because, obviously with the glass and the metal, obviously the materials themselves are very premium, but the way that Apple's put it together is so good. It's like the iPhone 5, the fit and finish is like nothing else I've seen on a smartphone before. You'll see that if you look closely around the edges, you've got these really nicely angled chamfers, diamond cut chamfers, which leave the kind of shiny metal finish all the way around the edge of the screen, and it gives it a really nice look. Now the combination of metal and glass is something we've seen before, but the addition of the Touch ID home button, or the Touch ID sensor in the home button, adds an extra elegance to it, I think, because if you look on the iPhone 5C, it's got the old home button with the app icon square in the middle. And when you compare that design to the Touch ID design, which, similar to the edges of the phone, has this kind of metal ring, again, sort of chamfered, angled metal ring, just makes it look a lot classier. And it doesn't have the app icon in the middle. On the underside, the design again is a lot more elegant and classy on the iPhone 5S over the iPhone 5C, but then it's not all positive for the iPhone 5S. Because it's made out of metal and glass, it's not as comfortable to hold as the iPhone 5C. Because of the materials that have been used and the design, the curved edges all come together to create a phone that feels really great in hand. And in case any of you are worrying about the iPhone 5C being plasticky and cheap feeling, it doesn't. Inside here is a steel chassis which reinforces the entire body of the phone and makes it feel very solid. All the buttons are nice to click, you get a good response from all of them. So on the design side for me, you've got to decide whether you want the phone that looks the best or the one that feels the best. Now we'll go on to the displays fairly quickly, because really what you're looking at here, both displays are the same. They've got the same pixel density, the same resolution, it's the same technology behind each screen. They've both got the in-cell touch sensors, both just as responsive as each other. In day-to-day use, colours are very clear and very natural, it's very sharp, contrast levels are decent as well. Watching videos on both, you'll notice that actually there's not any difference at all. So really on the display front, what you're looking at is two phones with exactly the same display. So when you change angles so that it's not head on and you turn it this way, you'll see obviously it fades a tiny bit, but the colours stay fairly true, and you'll see that on the iPhone 5S as well. The colours don't seem to deviate. Now that greenish blue tint you can see is just the reflection of my table. Now I did a full camera comparison on the site, and I'll leave a link to that and my reviews of each phone in the description box below. But in terms of camera use, what you'll find is that actually for photographs in daylight, general photography, both of them again are very similar. So you'll notice that actually because the iPhone 5C has the same camera and the same processor as the iPhone 5, your camera quality is still very good. You can see these two images here. They were both taken on each phone. And what I did, I went out and took photos of the same places, the same shots with both phones, and you can see that actually the quality of them is very similar indeed. Like I said, I'll leave links in the description box to my comparison posts where I compared the photos. Both got panorama. The camera user interface is the same on both, but here is where the iPhone 5S comes in with something slightly different. If I load up the camera, you'll notice that when I scroll to the left, it's got slow-mo mode, and when I hit record on slow-mo, what you'll get then is a slow motion video. You can change which part of that slow motion video you want to slow down, and you can trim them and crop them and save it as a separate video. This is a kind of added feature. It's fun. It's not something that's going to improve your daily use of the phone necessarily, and because it's recording at a higher frame rate of 120 frames per second, you will need decent light. Now in low light still photography, the iPhone 5S comes in better again. Although it has the same pixel count, they're both 8 megapixels. The iPhone 5S has a larger sensor, which means each of those pixels is bigger. The aperture as well is larger, and so you will gather more light. So in low light conditions, iPhone 5S is a better phone. And of course we have to mention that dual LED flash that you can see in the back here. So you'll notice on the dual LED what you've got on the top, you've got a white LED like normal, and the bottom one is an orangey red one. Now they combine so that when you're taking pictures with a flash of your friends when you're out, they combine so that skin doesn't look as white and reflective and all washed out like it would with a regular phone's LED. And it combines with something like 1,000 different combinations to try and get skin tone looking natural. So if you like taking photos of your friends with the flash on, then again, that's something worth considering. Now we'll go on to performance and what it's actually like to use the phone. Now I did a speed test and you can see from that, I'll leave a link again in the description box, you'll see from that actually in day-to-day use the responsiveness and the app switching and loading up of apps is pretty much the same on both, unless you're loading something up that's been 64-bit optimized. So it's been optimized to use the iPhone 5S's 64-bit A7 processor. But most apps at the moment haven't been, so when you load things up, if I was to load up Instagram for instance, they load up pretty much simultaneously. Now I used the Instagram on this before, so it has a memory point, whereas this hasn't really been used that often. You'll see that actually going through it, and you notice that when you scroll through them, it's just as responsive on both. There's no real lag on either, so if you're worried about the 5C being the lesser powered phone, and that you're not going to like it because it's slow, then don't, because it is a fantastically good phone and it is fast. Now the one thing on the performance side that you will notice is unlocking the device. Obviously with Touch ID built in, you can just place your thumb on the home button and it unlocks. With the iPhone 5C, you need to just slide it across, and obviously if you're security conscious, then you will need to put a passcode in, and there's no option for Touch ID either. Does it make the one phone better over the other? Perhaps if you're someone that uses a really easy to remember passcode, a really easy to decipher passcode, then maybe using your thumbprint is a better option. Using it is very easy. Like you see, it just unlocks like that. You don't have to do anything except keep your thumb on the home button. Now we talk about battery life. What I have noticed is that both phones are better than the predecessor, the iPhone 5. On iOS 7 barely got me through 24 hours. On both of these phones I can easily get through a day without needing to charge, and I can use it all day, moderate use I guess, and then plug it in at the end of the day like you should be able to with a smartphone. But what I have noticed with the iPhone 5C is that it does have a slightly better battery life, and that's more than likely down to the processor. It's a lower spec processor than this one, so it takes less power to use. I might get maybe an extra hour or two out of it. Now choosing which one is the best isn't something that I particularly want to do because I like them both for equal merits. Like I mentioned when I was talking about the design of these two, what it really comes down to in my experience in day-to-day use, the one thing that you're going to notice above all the rest is the design and how it looks and how it feels in hand. So if you want a phone that feels fantastic in your hand, something that you really want to just pick up and use every day without worrying that you're going to scratch your precious metal, I would recommend the iPhone 5C, and it has quickly become the phone that I would actually rather take out with me and use it for everyday activities. The iPhone 5S on the other hand is a great choice if you want the iPhone that's got all the latest specifications, the best build quality in terms of refined and elegant fit and finish. It really is a brilliant device. Obviously the iPhone 5C is a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, but I don't think that's something that makes it a bad phone. It's not really that noticeable. If you want to ask me any questions about either of these two devices, any features from them, please feel free. I'm at TIP_Cam, or you can use the comments as always. I will see you again soon.